Hi there! Let's discuss some important features related to pop-up stores and their adoption by brands. We discussed in the previous episode 6 main points that brands should consider before adopting pop-up stores, or that help brands or reassure brands if they are thinking of adopting pop-up stores or incorporating them into their distributions and communication strategies. Pop-up stores are very useful to brands, and their usefulness differs to the type of offer that the brand is going to present to the target audience. As pop-up stores are very flexible, they help the brand reflect the store in different formats that put into value the offering that the brand is trying to communicate or propose to the target audience. We should never forget the importance of flexibility that pop-up stores present to us and help in conceiving formats that directly relate to the target audience. When developing a brand, if we are still in an entrepreneurial stage, the pop-up store would be a good representation of our brand to the target audience. It would give us a brand exposure, especially if we're popping up in different locations, different geographical locations. It would give our brand access to a greater target audience and would help the brand properly launch on the market. For mature brands, however, pop-up stores could help the brand strengthen its identity or also generate a greater access to different target audiences in different locations. However, developing brands and mature brands might have different agendas in terms of the pop-up store's use. We have discussed all of these elements in our previous episodes. I invite you to log on to our YouTube channel to have access to all ephemeral retailing previous episodes and check these information about pop-up store adoption and strategic objectives in relation to developing and developed brands. I would like to also highlight that pop-up stores are creative communications platforms. As we have discussed in the previous episode, the pop-up store in itself is a communications tool. We have to not only consider popping up in a premium location, we have to pop up at our best form, our most innovative theme and most engaging atmosphere, and we have to marry everything with proper communications, whether with traditional media or social media. We have also discussed the importance of social media communications in relation to pop-up stores and how these two marry very well. A pop-up store therefore gives the brand the possibility of expanding its presentation and expanding its perimeter outside of its comfort zone, and would help it gain more visibility and maybe access markets that it wouldn't have thought of accessing before, or maybe wouldn't be able to do with traditional or traditional distribution channels as it used to do previously. And finally, developing brands and developed brands have to pay attention to their positioning when it comes to pop-up stores. It should not pop in locations where it does not meet its positioning and strategic objectives, as this might hurt the brand more than doing it good. We have to always in line of our brand's identity, strategic objectives, and we have to make sure that the pop-up store meets with the brand's positioning vis-a-vis the competition on the market. The pop-up store cannot break that strategic dimension of the brand, and the pop-up store should come and reinforce the strategic steps that the brand would follow in order to gain that greater visibility and access to the market, and maybe integrate better on the market through the pop-up store strategies.